Hello friends, today I shall talk about inclusive education. Now as you know, in a normal classroom settings, we always have diverse learners. Now by these diverse learners, we understand that one individual differ to that of the other individual is with respect to their ability to learn, their ability to participate in the learning process, their ability to socialize, their reasoning, their ability to complete an assignment, ability to complete the questions given by the teachers or responding to the teacher's question, communicating or sharing their ideas and views, ability to handle situations, their emotional stability, their attention span, physical ability, attitude, and so on. Thus, we can understand that such dissimilarity exists among the learners. So why do you think such dissimilarity exists? It is because of various factors. Generally, I am bringing about under two broad factors. They are the internal factors and the external factors. Now talking about the internal factors, it implies the heredity, the nutritious diet of an individual, okay, the intake, how they're taking it. Then talking about the health, emotions, temperament, attitudes, and host of other things. Now coming to the external factors, as you know, it comprises of everything that is associated with the environment, with the surrounding in which the learner is being brought up. Now you can say the parental approach, their attitude towards the child, the members of the family, if two children or one child, you see, it becomes a factor, okay. Then also talking whether it is a joint family or a nuclear family, their neighbors, friends, relatives, everything influences the child's growth and development. Also the cultural and the social perspective, the socio-economic status, the place where the child is being brought up, okay, and the place of the child in that particular family, whether it is a middle-born child sorry, whether it is a middle-born child, whether it is the eldest or the youngest. Then again, how the child is being treated by their parents. Some children are being pampered by their parents, isn't it so? So those also becomes, you can say those are also coming under certain factors, okay, that affects the child and their learning environment, okay, and how they learn. Then also how they are being understood by their parents, how their desires are being met by the parents. You got that? Thus it implies that the role of their parents plays a vital impact in their life. Thus in this way we find that dissimilarities coexist among the individual, which makes them diverse learners, okay. And because of these various factors, okay, because of these various factors, what happens? Some children are found to be gifted, some are average, some are slow learners, some are physically strong, and others are weak or average, and some are more talented. The normal child, okay, like all these child are being deviated from the normal child in terms of their height, weight, physical appearances, their eyesight, memory span, hearing ability, and many more. Now it is the responsibility of the teachers to identify these diverse learners. accordingly create a congenial, or you can say inclusive, learning atmosphere for them to learn. The strategies that the teacher can adopt, it could be firstly recognize that there are different types of individuals. Okay, again, the learners are different, their needs are different. They should try to accommodate each and every learner in the teaching learning process. The teachers should appreciate and value each one of them. Make them feel that they belong. Try out to take the best in the child, because every child is born with some potentialities. And normally when we talk about coping up with the learning situation, creating an inclusive setting, for all these we need an expertise teacher. So therefore the teacher themselves needs to be trained enough to deal with diverse learners. They should understand that which sort of instrument is required for which type of individual. Okay? So in this way, we see that learning atmosphere can be created by the expert teachers, the trained teachers. It is only then they can do justice to their teaching profession. Otherwise, it will not be possible. Clear? Again, now talking about making the environment congenial, the teacher needs to reduce the class size so that the teacher can pay attention to each and every learners. The classroom should be well lighted, it should be airy, and sufficient space for sitting. If there are differently able child, the seat should be made such a way that they are comfortable enough. Even the toilet facilities should be there for the differently able child. There should be ramped facility inside the classroom. Then again, the classroom should be free from barriers relating to communication. Noise should be avoided. Unnecessary or materials or teaching aids which are not clear should be avoided. Teachers should make use of information and communication technology and instructional materials and devices specially meant for the differently able learners. Try to build up the rapport with the learner so that each learner will be comfortable to approach the respective teachers. Encourage students' participation. Introduce activity-based learning atmosphere. Team teaching is very important. Okay, it is really a welcoming approach. Monitor each and every learner. Formative assessment and feedbacks are required. Find out the strengths and weaknesses of the learner and accordingly try to arrange for a remedial teaching. Give certain extra project work for the gifted child. Develop the teaching techniques and learning materials as per the needs of the learner. Realize that the learners are ready, they are prepared to learn for the day's class. They are interested enough to attend the class. Okay. Then again, the learner should be the first priority. Now, whom the teacher is teaching, why, how, okay, what are the ways that the teacher needs to adopt, all these needs to be taken into consideration. Thus, in a nutshell, or to summarize the day's session, it can be stated that the teacher should be, should be positive. The teacher should have a positive attitude and treat every individual equally. The diversity should be recognized in them and accordingly it should be celebrated. The teacher should be keen enough to understand the learners and accordingly work out and develop the teaching strategies. Discuss with the parents. Yes, discussion with the parents is very important. Let the parents know how their children are performing inside the classroom. Also, make the parents feel that the children are important, they have the potentialities, and the parents should not feel bad about them. They should accept the child as they are. Make them aware how their child is performing, how their child is improving, and so on and so forth. Make them realize that their attention towards the child is equally important. It is sending the child to the school, by sending the child to the school is not enough. It is the parents' responsibility to also perform certain duties by accepting the child as they are, and try to improve them, try to correct them wherever it is required. Also, awareness among the community or the society at large is also needed. Remember, the differently abled child should feel that they are also a very important part of the society. The society needs them. They can also contribute a lot to the society. They have the potentialities. Hence, such a positive and motivating attitude from all perspectives will not only boost learning but make them a very useful and productive citizen. Thus, inclusive learning setting, or you can say inclusive education, is so very important, and in order to develop such inclusive setting, a teacher needs to be trained so that the teacher recognizes the gifted, the slow learners, the average learners, the learners who are differently able, the learners who are being deviated from the normal child, and how to cope up with them. So, let us together try to make this mission successful. Are you ready? Thank you.